There's a moment in every dispatching business where you start to wonder, how many carriers can I actually handle? Can I go from one truck to three? From three to 10? What does scaling actually look like in this business? And what are the real limits? Let's talk about it honestly. First, the good news. Dispatching is a service business with very low overhead, no physical inventory, no warehouse, no fleet to maintain. The marginal cost of taking on an additional carrier is mostly your time. That makes scaling more achievable here than in most industries. Now, the honest constraint. Time is the real bottleneck. A dispatcher who is actively sourcing loads, making broker calls, negotiating rates, tracking in-transit loads, handling paperwork, and collecting payment for multiple carriers simultaneously is doing a lot. Each carrier you add to your roster adds a meaningful workload. How many carriers you can handle depends on how similar their lanes are, how systematized your processes are, and whether you have support. Here's a realistic framework. One carrier, you're learning the business. You're slow in some things, but you're doing all of it. This is the foundation phase. Two to three carriers, you start to see patterns. Broker relationships from carrier one help you move freight for carrier two. Your search process gets faster because you're on the boards constantly. Your templates and systems are working. This is the efficiency phase, and where most solo dispatchers find their sweet spot. Four to five carriers. You're at capacity as a solo operator if you're doing everything manually and all carriers are running different lanes. At this point, either your process needs to be tighter, your carrier mix needs to be more homogeneous, or you need help. Beyond five carriers, solo is possible, but only if your systems are dialed in and your carriers are somewhat predictable. Some dispatchers run 8 or 10 carriers solo. It happens. But it often means you're working long days, communication suffers, and the quality of your service for each individual carrier decreases. A dispatcher who does average work for 8 carriers will lose those carriers over time to a dispatcher who does excellent work for 4. So, what does intelligent scaling look like? First, get your systems right before you grow. If your load tracking is disorganized, if your invoicing is manual and slow, if you're spending an hour a day on paperwork that should take 20 minutes, fix those systems before taking on carrier number 4. Second, consider specialization by lane or equipment. If you're dispatching multiple dry van carriers who all run Midwest to Southeast lanes, your broker relationships and load board searches overlap. You're doing one search that benefits 3 carriers. That's efficiency. If you have one dry van, one reefer, and one flatbed in 3 different regions, your searches don't overlap and your workload multiplies. Third, when you're genuinely at capacity, when service quality for your current carriers would decline if you added one more van, consider hiring a dispatcher assistant. This person starts with administrative tasks, organizing documents, tracking payments, sending check call updates you've already gathered information for. You handle strategy and negotiation. They handle execution. This split extends your capacity without diluting your service quality. Hiring is a significant step, and it shouldn't happen prematurely. But when you've got 6 carriers, a consistent income, and you're genuinely turning down good carriers because you don't have bandwidth, that's when hiring makes sense. One more thing about scaling. Retention is more profitable than acquisition. Keeping a carrier you have who trusts you, runs predictably, pays on time, is worth more than any new carrier you could add. Put your best service into the carriers you have. Growth through excellence compounds faster than growth through volume. The goal isn't to be the biggest dispatch operation. The goal is to build a profitable, sustainable business that you can actually run well. Quality, systematized, profitable. That's the dispatching business worth building.